What up? So, for like the past couple weeks, I haven't really been able to make a video. Every time I even tried to, it just like didn't work, and it just had to just stop. But and I was praying to God about it, asking God, what's wrong? Did I do something? I mean, going through figuring out, why it wasn't, why I wasn't able to do what I normally do. And God basically was just saying, I'm entering in a new season where everything's about to be new. The old way of doing things, period, is done. I might not ever be making videos on Instagram again or whatever, you know what I mean? And he's basically just saying, wait for him, and it's time to do something different. It's time to do even an old thing a new way. And that may be somebody's word. That may have been something you needed to hear. That if you're feeling like, recently your gifts haven't been working, or what used to work isn't working, or what used to come easy isn't coming easy anymore. I mean, don't get discouraged, because trust me, I've been there these past couple weeks. And God's definitely been telling me, no, this is a good thing, Marcus. You did all that you had to do on that level. And that's why you're no longer functioning on that level. That's why basically, the whale is drying up, because it's time to move on to a bigger ocean. And yeah, that may be your word. That may be all you needed to hear out of this video. God bless you. But so this morning, it's like 3 a.m. right now. So this morning I've been up, praying and talking to God and such. And he gave me a word, and he said, Marcus, boom, I got something that I need you to talk about. I'm like, all right, bet, what is it? Then he told me, and I was like, ooh, okay, I could do that. But it's a serious situation though. So this morning God told me, he said, Marcus, I want you to talk about sexual perversions. Yeah, I know that's like, dang, Seed, you getting deep on us. But yeah, that's what God told me to talk about. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And basically, God was telling me to talk about sexual perversions. One, because it's something that I've dealt with in my life for basically my entire life. And two, it's something that I've been praying hard, and God has been dealing with me about, to the point of like, Marcus, we got to get this together. And it's to the point, I'm actively, me and God are working on that. And he basically gave me permission to, okay, Marcus, you're at the point where you can talk about it, and you can start to help deliver other people. And when I say sexual perversions, it can be a whole bunch of different things, honestly. And I'm going to use my own situation. In my own case, like when I was a kid, I had some crazy sexual experiences that shouldn't have happened to any young kid. And basically, whether your first sexual experience was good, bad, normal, or weird, whether it was forced or wanted or whatever, it still molds the rest of your decisions. Like I'm gonna be real. Your first sexual experience molds the rest, honestly. Like, I'm gonna just be real. No different than the way you raise your kid in any way, like that sticks with them. You get what I'm saying? Like, so in my case, my first sexual experience was a wild one, and was some stuff that I shouldn't have been into, and it was some stuff that wasn't my choice. You get what I'm saying? And I didn't even notice, honestly, until I was an adult. Yeah, like I didn't even notice until I was an adult that it's connected. I didn't notice until I was an adult that I realized, and God actually helped me realize, like, this is connected to that. You get what I'm saying? And to make it to where, it's not just my situation. Maybe you had sex young, or maybe you just had a lot of sex young. That molds you even as an adult. Or maybe you were raped as a kid, or maybe you were molested as a kid. Or you get what I'm saying? Like these things that are so normal in our culture nowadays. I mean, it's normal nowadays that, I lost my virginity at 13. Like it's normal now to be little kids doing grown up stuff and it not be nothing crazy. You get what I'm saying? But at the same time, on the spiritual aspect of that, it matters. Like it matters. And a lot of times people are like how I was. It's so normal that you don't even think nothing's wrong. Like you couldn't tell me there was something wrong with my urges or with my sexual whatever. Like you couldn't tell me there was nothing wrong with it. You get what I'm saying? Like I was just a freak. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it. But at the same time, I'm here to tell you and cut through. No, you're not a freak. Something happened to you that you never addressed. And now it's a part of you and you're calling it normal. But in reality, the thing is, God wants to heal you from that. Not only that, but God can heal you from that. But he cannot heal you from it until you realize it's a problem. And that's the hardest thing. The hardest thing in our culture is to realize something like a high sex what's it called? Like a high sex craving is a problem. You get what I'm saying? Like in most cases, that's stuff people brag about. But in reality, it's a problem. And if you really look at your life and your love life, you'll see it's a problem. You'll see it's a problem when you're wanting to have sex way too much to the point where it's like even your spouse is like, wait, like, man, no, I'm not, like, this is crazy. This is all you're trying to do. That's a problem. Or you see it's a problem when you have a good man or you have a good woman and yet you're still going out and you want to have as much sex as you can with other people. And there's no reason to. Like you have a good person. It's just you have so much of these urges that one person isn't enough. Get what I'm trying to say? And yet there are still so many layers to this that I haven't even began to touch. But I really just want you, I don't want to overcomplicate it. I really just want you to really look at your life apart from culture. Look at your life apart from what people say is cool, apart from stuff people brag about, and really look at your personal life. That's what I had to do. Look at your personal life. Look at all of your relationships and look at what part sex played in all of your relationships. And if you're being honest, ask yourself, did the way that you view sex and the way that you go after sex and even the way that you have sex, did that help or hurt your relationships? Because I'm going to be real, most of my relationships, it hurt them. In most of my relationships, sex became a problem. You get what I'm saying? It became a stumbling block. Because one, I went through periods where I had high sex cravings, where it was just that's all I wanted. And at the same time, I was a selfish person. And if you're a selfish person, you're also a selfish lover. And it's one thing to have a high sex craving when you're not a selfish lover, but it's a whole nother thing to have a high sex craving, but you're a selfish lover. No one wants to be, you know what I'm saying, pleasing you all day. And yet that was one of my problems. And then the other problem was I would go through spurts where I didn't even want to have sex. So as much as that sounds like a holy thing, like I didn't want to have sex, it wasn't in a good way. It was literally like a bipolar thing. Like I would go through spurts where that's all I wanted to do, and then I would go through spurts where I don't want to do it at all. Don't touch me. You get what I'm saying? And you see here how unhealthy that is. And that also is a clear sign that something is broken in that area. Like, okay, I'm going to take it off of my situation and I'm just going to describe some symptoms and you just be honest with yourself if that hits you. If you have a serious addiction to pornography, I mean, where you watch a lot of porn and even the porn that you watch gets wilder and wilder. And if we were ever to see your Pornhub history, it would be like, what are you doing? What is that? How do they even do that? You get what I'm saying? If that's you, you're something is broken in that area. You get what I'm saying? And because the thing is about porn, when you watch a lot of porn, it actually ruins your real life sex, because real life sex is not like a porno. So if all you're doing is watching porn, then the minute you get with someone, even if you are in a relationship with them or not, you're expecting them to be a porno. Like, you get what I'm saying? You're expecting it to just be that. And in reality, sex is it's supposed to be more intimate. It's not supposed to be like a freaking porno. And that's why when you watch a lot of porno, it actually doesn't help your sex life. It actually hurts it. Not only that, but it messes up your own mind because now you're so overstimulated because you're so used to watching these pornos. And if you watch porn a lot, then you got to watch more, like it gets deeper and darker and darker. You get what I'm saying? Therefore, now your mind has a messed up thing about what it takes to arouse you. You get what I'm saying? Like, let's be grown-ups. You get like it takes more now because you're watching all this porn. Because I'm trying to tell you flat out, porn is not realistic. It's not like your mailman is not just gonna come over to deliver the mail and y'all end up having sex. Like, you get what I'm trying to say? And like when you watch porn, it's giving you an unrealistic view. Therefore, when you get in reality, you want it to be like porn. And normal, healthy, functioning people in relationships, though, yes, you do what you do with your partner and y'all, know each other and such, it's still not a porno. So once again, if you feel yourself always watching porn, even when you have a relationship, you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not talking about just being single watching porn. I'm talking about even in a relationship, you still watch a lot of porn. I'm trying to show you there's something broken in that area. Not only that, but just high masturbation, period. Like girl or female, girl or guy, whatever if you just feel like you always got to watch porn, even when you're in a relationship, like there's something broken in that area. I'm going to just be all the way real. Not only that, but now let's get into just things that are not normal. And because that's another thing, once again, depending on how your first sexual experience was when you were a kid, hopefully it wasn't when you were a kid, but for a lot of us it was when we were kids, it molds what you like. Even, I'm going to be real. Even if something happened to you against your will, even if it's something happened to you before you was even making choices, even if it was somebody who touched you or somebody who did something, get what I'm saying? Even if it was something like that where you were all the way the victim, you were not a partaker, you were the victim, it still molds you. And if anybody who's ever been through situations where you were the victim, and if you're really looking at the rest of your love life after that, then if you're being honest, then you know that it still molds you. And that is why it is so important that you don't just bring getting your rent paid to God, but don't ever mention your sex life, because now you got to pay rent with a broken spirit. And at the end of the day, God is concerned more about your heart and your spirit and your body, like all of you. He's more concerned about that than he is about what type of car you're driving, how much money you're making. None of that matters if inside of you is broken. So many times we spend so much time praying on job, purpose, kids, family, relationships. But we don't understand the fact of, no, God's like, no, you have this brokenness inside of you that we never mention. And I want to give you a good family, Marcus. I want to give you a wife. But until we fix this broken sexualness that you have, I can't give it to you. I can't give her to you like that. You're gonna turn her into porn. Like, you're gonna, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, let's be real. Like, I'm trying to show you that these things, that it's even hard for me to talk about it, and I can dang near talk about anything, but you can hear it's even hard for me to talk about this. But I'm trying to show you that these things that we don't talk about, we got to talk about it. And even if we don't get to talk about it together, because that's kind of weird, I just hope y'all just listen to this by yourself and do whatever you got to do with it. But my point is, take it to God. My point is, you need to be able to have these hard conversations with God. Like, literally, God has not let me talk about anything else. And then this morning, he told me, Marcus, this is what I need you to talk about. I said, God, you need me to talk? He said, I need you to talk about it. I said, God, but if I talk about it, I'm going to have to use my... He said, Marcus, ain't nothing in your, ain't no part of your testimony ever got to be hidden or ashamed, because you are my child. If I tell you go talk about it, that means even if one person needs to hear what you went through, Marcus, then you need to go talk about it. And so I'm here. And I'm trying to let you know that God is wanting and waiting to talk to a lot of y'all about these things that, if you're being real, you ain't never talked to nobody about it. If you're being real, these are things that we don't admit. And if we do admit them, we admit them in the sense of it's not a problem. But if you're really looking at your life, and you're really looking at your sex life, and you're really looking at how your sex life plays an effect on the rest of your happiness, it's a problem. I'm going to be real. There was a time in my life, and even up until today, like even up until now, my sex life plays a problem on the rest of my life. You get what I'm saying? And it's to the point where I see it clearly now. And I'm letting you know right now, if this sounds like anything in your area, this ain't for everybody, but if this sounds like anything in your area, I'm letting you know that God wanted me to come on here and talk about it, because he wants to heal you from that. No different than he's healing me. Like he's literally been telling me to the point where it's like, Marcus, we got to get this done like today. Like Marcus, you got the rest of your life waiting. But there are things that I want to give you, that I'm ready to give you, that I cannot give you until we fix the broken little boy in you. Let's be real. A lot of people, you're a grown man, you're a grown woman with a job and kids and everything else, but you have never let God fix the broken little girl in you that let dudes run trains on them. You're a grown man with a kid and everything, but you have never ever talked to God about the broken daddy issues that you have, or the fact that you never came to terms with how your mom was a crackhead. Like, I'm trying to let you know these things of our childhood that we look at it as, just because I'm grown, that doesn't mean that you made it. We like to think of, okay, my childhood, whether it was good or bad, I'm grown now, so I made it, so it's okay. And yet that mindset, I'm trying to tell you, is wrong, because just because you got older doesn't mean that you got healed from the things that happened in your childhood. And a lot of us, we got some crazy trauma in our childhood. I mean, For the longest, I was carrying sexual trauma. I was carrying Paul's death. I was carrying my abusive dad. Like, I was carrying so much. I was carrying just all types of identity issues, like crazy stuff. And you can tell that I was carrying all of that by the way in which I lived my life. And maybe I just didn't hide it as well. But just because you hide it better doesn't mean that there's nothing in your past, there's nothing from your childhood that you don't need to address. Because if there was nothing, God wouldn't have me coming on here talking to you. So I don't know what it is, and you don't even got to tell me. I bear my stuff because part of my healing is in bearing my stuff. When I talk about stuff, it gets me, it actually helps me to face it in reality. So me coming on here and speaking about things that I'm literally battling with today, it helps me win the battle. Because when you shed light on something, the darkness no longer has power. And that's the thing. So many of us have been trapped in darkness, not realizing that it was darkness. Because darkness, the devil, covers itself in things like shame. And we think shame just comes from us. But in reality, a lot of that shame that you've been walking around in, it's not coming from you, and it's not coming from God. It's coming from the devil, and it's coming from the devil using what you've done in your life, whether it was by your choice or whether you were a victim. The devil is using that stuff to keep you in shame. And you think that the shame is just coming from a natural response because you know what you did, or you're even thinking that the shame is coming because God knows what you did. No, that shame is not coming from yourself or from God. That shame is coming from the devil trying to keep you stuck. Because if the devil can keep you stuck in your shame, you'll never understand that God is waiting to take you out of that shame. The Bible says there is no condemnation. So if the devil can keep you in shame and keep you secretly and quietly beating yourself up about having an abortion, then you'll never realize that God's ready to forgive you for that abortion. If the devil can keep you quiet and secret about who touched you when you were a kid, then you'll never realize that God's ready to heal you from who touched you when you were a kid. If the devil can get you secret and quietly and not talking about how many people you slept with when you were a teenager, and now you just dress it up with you got a good job and a nice car and you know what I'm saying, now you an independent woman, yet that little whore in you, the hoe in you when you was a kid, she's never been healed. And you can dress her up with as many Birkin bags and BMWs as you want, but she still needs healed. And I'm not coming at anybody. I'm just literally speaking frank, because this ain't nothing to play with, y'all. We're in our 20s, 30s, 40s, some of us 50s, and you're still broken from when you were 16 and under. And there is no reason to still be broken when God is so much ready to forgive, and God is so much able to heal you from those things that happened to you when you were a kid, whether it was your choice or not. Because let's be real, not all the things that happened to us when we were kids, we were the victim. A lot of the things that happened to me that I was doing when I was a kid, them was my choices. That was all Marcus. I wanted to do that, and I did it, and I liked it. But wherever you fit, because I also got things where I didn't want to do that. I didn't even know what that was. I was a little kid. So I know about both. And yet, I needed God to heal me from both. Not only that, but I lived 20 years not realizing that I was still broken from both. I lived doing so many things, not even understanding that all of these things that you're doing as a grown man, Marcus, are connected to the things that happen as a kid. You get what I'm saying? I'm trying to let you know it's connected. And you cannot just run from your past and just make a better future, but never address the little kid in you. I'm trying to let you know that's the only word that God has given me permission to release. That is, he is trying to heal the old you. And it could be from something that you did when you was a kid. It could be a choice that you made last year. The point is, God needs to heal that part of you first, because he's more than able to do it. And he's more than ready, and he wants to give you more, but he cannot put the new more and just place the old you into it. He cannot place that broken you into a good marriage. You get what I'm saying? He cannot place that bitter you that still hates the person that raped you but never talks about it, and still hates all the family members quietly and bitterly that never listened when you were trying to talk about it. God is ready to heal you and put forgiveness in your heart so that you can move on. Because that's the thing. If we're being real, it's still a part of you. And God doesn't want it to be a part of you anymore. And if you continue to walk in it, you're just going to remain parts of you broken. You can have a good job with parts of you broken. You could be driving the nicest car on your block with parts of you broken. Not only that, but some things that those broken parts are there, they're stopping other good things from happening, especially when it comes to relationships. A lot of us right now, we are ready for a real relationship. We are ready to stop playing games and all of that. And yet it seems like we keep either going wrong or it just doesn't happen. And God's been speaking to me. No, Marcus, she's on deck, Marcus. Like I know it's ready, but you're not ready. And I don't know who needs to hear that, but God got the wife. God got the good man for you. God has them. Trust me. He knows who they are and all of that. He knows he knows. But he cannot give them to you until he deals with your misconstrued ideas of sex, or until he deals with the broken you, because he cannot give you a good man because you're afraid to let any good man really in, because you don't let nobody in, because you're still bitter about the old guy. Or you're still bitter about the uncle that touched you. So yeah, you've been in more relationships, but if you're being real, you've never really let anybody in or really felt comfortable with anybody touching you. And including God. I'm not just talking about we're so broken that we're not really being touched by other people. Sometimes we're so broken that we're not even letting God touch us. And the reason why I say we're not letting God touch us is because we're not bringing it to God. And I'm not asking you to bring anything to me. If you need to, hit me, we can talk. But I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about bring it to God. Because one, he already knows. And two, it's time. Like I'm gonna just be real. It is time. In my own life, it is time for me to put a lot of these demons and skeletons. It's time. Like they have plagued my relationships and my love life for way too long. It's time. And I don't know what it's gonna take for you to get to the point where it's time. But I pray that this video sparks something that just lets you know it's time. And it can, I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's a rape. I don't care if it's a high body count. I don't care if it's somebody who touched you. I don't care if it was just, you was just fast. I don't care if your mama was fast and she made you fast. I don't care what it was. I don't care if your mom was a whore or your parents was crackheads. I don't care if your dad was never there. I'm just brokenness, period. I don't care if it wasn't none of that and you just literally had a heart, but you got your heart broken to the point where now you don't have a heart. And now you're just about sex because that's all you care about, because you refuse to really love again. And a lot of times we say that as if it's a boss move. Like, yeah, I'm just about sex. I'm about my money. I just have sex when I want to have sex. No feelings involved. Like, that stuff sounds good in a meme, but in real life, you're broken. And if you're being honest, you don't want to be that way. Let's be real. Let's be real. Nobody really wants to have an OnlyFans page to get their money. Let's be real. Nobody really wants to feel like all men are dogs. Nobody really wants to feel like they just gotta, pleasure theirself and be cold and move how they gotta move and don't let nobody in. Nobody really wants to be like that. But the reason that we become like that is because life happens and it puts us in a position where we start doing things because we think that this is the only way to keep me safe. So I have my heart broken so many times. So now I just keep it light and just have sex when I want to and get money off them. And that's it. No feelings involved. And it may sound good when you're describing it to your girlfriends who are just as ratchet as you. But in reality, you know deep down that you really wish you had a good man. And you know deep down that you really wish you were a good girl. And I'm trying to tell you that the only thing stopping you from that is the fact that you keep accepting the love that you think you deserve. You keep accepting your flaws. You keep accepting the fact that what happened to you is a secret and you're going to take it to your grave. I'm trying to tell you, if that's how you feel, you're going to take it to your grave broken. And why? Why would you take it to your grave broken when God is ready today? God wouldn't have me release this word if he wasn't ready to back it up, because I ain't got nothing. I can't heal y'all. So if God's telling me to talk about this, God's the one that's going to do the healing. Just like I need him to heal me. I wouldn't even be coming on here talking about my own sins if I didn't realize God was ready to heal me today. And I truly believe today I'm going to be healed from these things. I truly believe that people listening to this video today, you're going to begin to have those hard conversations with God, and maybe even have to have some hard conversations with people, but it's all going to end in healing. And it's all going to end with, now you're ready for better. It's all going to end with, I don't do that no more. Don't you want to be able to say, I don't do that no more? To be honest, some of the best the most powerful words that ever came out of my mouth was, I don't do that no more. Some of y'all need to get that down in your spirit, that it's time to start telling people, I don't do that no more. Say it with me. I don't do that no more. And when they try to remind you what you used to do, I don't do that no more. And when they try to tell you you'll always be how they see you, I don't do that no more. And I don't need you to validate it, because I know that I spent time with God. I know that what God did for me. And I know that I don't do that no more. So you can call me what you want to call me. You can see me however you want to see me. You can laugh, joke, smirk, do whatever you want to do. Because at the end of the day, I don't do that no more. I'm healed. My relationships are getting better. Like at the end of the day, it don't matter what people say about you when you got results. And I'm trying to tell you that today, God is trying to bring results. Whether it's daddy issues, Whether it's drug using parents, whether it was you on drugs, whether you were molested, whether you were raped, whether you had an abortion, or whether you lost your kids because you just was in the streets and not taking care of them, God is ready to heal you today. And it don't matter if everybody's not on board with it, because that's the thing. So many times we expect that when God fixes something, that we now have to go back and make every single person and every hater and every doubter and every person in our past a believer. At the end of the day, you got to be okay with your happiness. Sometimes the only one who believes that it's really there and knows that it's really there is you and God and your family. There's things in my life today that I still got some haters and some doubters and some people talking about stuff, and it's all the way wrong. And I don't even have the energy or the care to go back and clear it up, because where it matters, it's right. And where it matters, I'm getting it right. I'm doing what I got to do today to heal what's broken in me for the people in my life. Like my baby mom is having I'm having another daughter like soon. That's what matters. Like the kids, the people who matter. And you got to start understanding who matters. Matter of fact, after you get your healing today, pray to God and say, God, now show me who matters. Show me who I should enjoy and even share this new healing with. Because God is not healing you so that you can go back into the same broken situations. And God is not healing you so that you can spend the rest of your life trying to talk to people who used to call you a whore and make them see that you're not that anymore. This is not about proving people wrong. This is not about showing people that you're better. This is about actually getting better. This is about you and God getting it right. This ain't about making your timeline sorry that they ever thought that about you. This ain't about going back to all of your haters and your family members and your doubters and making them believe that you're a better person, or that you're sober now, or that you're better than them now. No, it's not about none of that. It's about literally getting in this quiet place with God and getting what you personally need for you and your family. For the people who matter. I'm going to be real. A lot of the people that y'all are trying to impress do not matter. That's why I'm able to come on here and talk about anything in my life. Because at the end of the day, it don't matter what most people down the street or around the corner or in another. It doesn't matter what they say. All that matters is, am I broken to Serenity and Stacy and this new daughter? All that matters is, am I broken to God? All that matters is, am I broken when I still look in the mirror? All that matters is, do I get to sleep at night in peace? All that matters is, am I a man that I can be proud of? And at the end of the day, we need to stop requiring everybody's approval before we enjoy change. We need to stop requiring the entire town to be on board with you're a better person now before you actually believe that you're a better person now. I'm going to be real. You can be sober for years and they still might call you a dopehead. I'm going to be real. You can be happily married, taking care of your kids and have a good man, and they still going to remember how many people you slept with back in the day after the basketball game. I'm going to be real. You can have a whole page where you preach fire down from heaven, and they're still going to see you as crazy seed. Some people. And to that I say, do those people matter? Not in the sense of I hate them, they don't matter, not like that. But in the sense of, if they don't co-sign my happiness, is my happiness still my happiness? If they don't see my change, is my change really there? And the answer is yes. You got to understand, whether your haters and your mother-in-law or your family see the person that you are, you're still that person. Because you're that person because God says you're that person. And you're that person because you know what you and God did. There's some stuff in my life that people still don't give me credit for. But I know it's there. There's some stuff in my life where people still got the story wrong. But I know I'm getting right. And I'm trying to tell you, that has to be enough. If you're expecting God to change every single person on your timeline, and now everybody knows that you're sober and they can trust you and you're the best thing since sliced bread and you're just great and you're invited to all the family functions and you got healed relationships in every area and it's just everybody's happy that you're happy. No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You being happy has to be enough. Since when actually for a while now, it's like we need other people to validate things that should be enough. I do not need you to validate the fact and congratulate me on having another kid. I don't need to share that with y'all. And for the longest, I've been wanting to post, the sonogram, but I couldn't find the words. And I prayed to God. I'm like, God, why can't I find the words? I always got words. And God said, because Marcus, I'm breaking you from that. I said, God, you breaking me from what? Words? He said, no, Marcus, I'm breaking you from the good things in your life, you needing everybody else to be happy with you before you're happy. Marcus, I'm breaking you from you taking your good things and needing to share it with the world. As if the world doesn't see my good things, they're not there. Not only that, but Marcus, I'm breaking you from these outside influences. I want you to feel how you feel about your daughter, regardless if you ain't getting no likes, regardless if other people aren't telling you congratulations. Because, Marcus, I need you to get to a point where what I'm doing in your life is enough. I need to get you to the point where you know what you need to work on. You know what changed. You know what's better. You know what's good. You know what matters. And you don't need nobody to validate that but me. A lot of y'all problem is you need too much validation. So you have to post what you're doing with your kids. As if the timeline doesn't tell you that you're a good mother, you may not be one. So you got to show every time you get them a new pair of shoes, as if them seeing you get them something means that you really did right. Why isn't it just enough? Why isn't it just enough that you know what matters and you're doing what matters and you're happy? I'm trying to tell you, in the season and the life that we're living in nowadays, it's going to have to be enough. You're going to have to be able to just be happy with yourself and with the people who matter, regardless who sees it, regardless who knows it, regardless who appreciates it, regardless who gives you credit for it. You got to be okay with being all the way healed, happy, and moving forward, even as the people in your past are still talking about you. You got to be okay with getting your teeth fixed, getting back, working out, taking care of your kids, working on your relationship with your baby mom, regardless what your exes are saying, regardless whether or not your timeline knows it, regardless whether or not the rest of your family members sees how much progress you're making. I'm being real. Your need for everybody to approve of what you're doing is stopping your happiness. But at the end of the day, it's time. It's time to, I don't do that anymore. It's time to take the things that you ain't never mentioned to nobody to God. And it's time to take those brokenness, the things that bring you shame, the things that you don't like to talk about whenever, the things that hurt whenever people bring it up, the things that trip up whenever you do get a good thing, the thing that messes you up whenever you do get a good girl, the thing that messes you up whenever you do meet a good man. Those things. It's time to take those things to God, because I'm telling you today, God is ready to heal you. And once you get healed, you need to ask God, where do I take this healing? What do I do with it? And in some cases, yes, there are going to be some other people who you're going to have a conversation with, because your brokenness led to some of their brokenness. So yes, Marcus, some of the decisions that you've been making have affected your baby mom. So yes, when you get all the way healed, it's your responsibility to go back and heal some of the things that the broken you broke in her. Because there were things that you said to her about things in her life that you shouldn't have said, because you were speaking from a place of brokenness. You get what I'm saying? So don't think that once you're healed, that just means you ain't got to do nothing for nobody. No, you do have a responsibility to take your healing and go back and fix some of the things that you broke when you were broken. But that does not mean you have to go get everybody on your timeline or in your community's permission to be changed, or to be healed, or to be better, or to be happy, or to move forward, or to walk in the fact that I don't do that no more. God bless you. God love you. I'm really, really, really praying, man. I'm praying whoever needs to find this video finds it, and just trust me. Trust me, I've been there. I don't care what your brokenness is. I got a lot. I've had to take so much to God, and you see I'm still taking stuff to God. But especially the sexual things, it plays a bigger part on your spirit and on your relationships than you think. It's time to stop being freaks and start being healthy. It's time to stop being selfish lovers and start being healthy. And honestly, I'm going to be all the way real. I'm going to be that guy. It's time to start moving towards marriage and maybe chill out until then. I can't tell you to do something that I don't do because I don't want to be fake, but we should. I'm trying to, but I haven't either. So I'm gonna be real before I be anything else. So God bless you. God love you. All right. If God give me something else to talk about, I'm going to talk about it. But until then, I'm going to be taking care of my happiness, taking care of my healing, taking care of my family. And I'm going to be doing what matters with who matters. And I'm going to do it all with God, because I can't do nothing without him. And I don't hate nobody. I'm not against nobody. I be praying for people who don't even know I'm praying for them. But I'm trying to tell you that the times that we are living in, we're not little kids anymore. So it's time to, one, be healed from the little kid stuff. And it's also time to be healed even from things that we did last year, even from things that we did last summer. Because the broken little kid in us has followed us all the way till 2022. So now you got a beard, but you're still broken. So now you got a full-time job and 2 kids, but you're still broken, shorty. And there's no reason to, because God wants to. He wants to. God wants to heal us more than we want to be healed. But it's to the point I'm begging you in Jesus' name, talk to God, because he's telling me, just like he told me, Marcus, it's time for you to heal from that stuff. Like today, like Marcus, you can't get to next weekend doing what you do. Some of y'all, it's that urgent. There are too many good opportunities. There are too many good relationships that are waiting. And the only thing that's holding them up is you will not go to God for all of your healing. You'll go about some stuff, but you won't go about that one area. I'm trying to tell you, I got that one area too. That thing that I've been just, you know, the things done in the dark. It's time to bring those things in the light. God bless.